Get ready for the next battle.
Hadouken! What the hell?
Flawless victory.
So I know I said in my Soul Calibur video that Soul Calibur 2 is my favorite fighting game of all time, but Street Fighter is my favorite fighting game series of all time. That's still going strong to this day. Even people that aren't into fighting games, or even video games for that matter, I could walk up, say Hadouken or Shoryuken, they know I'm referencing Street Fighter. That's how iconic this series is. When Street Fighter 2 was released in 1991, it sparked this whole new genre of games where you're not just going against a computer anymore or a time limit, you were going against another player. And it's created this competition that people just absolutely love and adore even to this day. It was the first line of games to really introduce these things called command inputs, where if you put in a specific command like down, corner, and then right, your character shot a fireball. And that was a crazy thing at the time because it wasn't really widespread knowledge. Sure, it might be on the cabinet or local knowledge, of course, but that's really it. It wasn't like a thing the game teaches you. You had to teach yourself. And that's where skill really drew in this crowd of people who wanted to be the best. Which is what really makes Street Fighter appealing to me even to this day, is you're constantly learning something. There's never a moment where I'm sitting there, it's like, oh, I learned everything, I'm good to go. It's like, no, my opponent might do something completely unexpected and I gotta adapt to that. But then I learned something new from that. And that's what makes it exciting. It's like, oh, what am I going to learn today? How am I going to beat my opponent? It's a whole giant mind game. And you could have been amazing at these games, known every single command input, every single combo chain. But there's always going to be that one guy who's better than you, that you have to beat. There's never an end to these games. There's never like, oh, I know everything, I beat everybody. There's always a new challenge. I would also say Street Fighter definitely has probably some of the most iconic characters in gaming history, from Ryu to Ken, Blanka, Zangief, Chun-Li, Cammy. The list goes on. I could mention just those characters by name, and people just get an image of what they look like or know who they are. Again, they don't even have to be into fighting games or even video games in general to know even half the roster. Even the moments and interactions between the players is iconic within itself. I mean, who doesn't know what Evo Moment 37 is? It has 14 million views on YouTube. I fell in love with the series years and years ago. I remember playing like the old cabinets at like this local store. It was a long time ago when I was little. I mean, obviously we played like the home console versions for a little bit. Not as much though, we rented those. But when I really got into Street Fighter was with Street Fighter 4. My brother and I would play Street Fighter 4 quite often, along with Mortal Kombat, and we played a little bit of Tekken 4 or 5, I can't remember off the top of my head. But he's a big reason why I even got into the series, because he was into martial arts. He did jiu-jitsu and karate, which he of course practiced those on me, but he also transferred that love into the video games we played. But I actually didn't really start taking Street Fighter seriously and getting competitive with it until Street Fighter 3rd Strike, which I know is before 4. But I went back to that one because I think I enjoyed the 2D art style a bit more, plus the mechanics a little bit more. I still played 4 and enjoyed it, but 3 just had like a magic to it that I really enjoyed. And that's where I started practicing and getting better. And then of course Street Fighter 5 came out. I played that for a little bit. Not my jam. I didn't like it at first. It was not a good game at first. It got better over time, but I gave up on Street Fighter for a while, and then 6 came out is what got me back into the series and playing and practicing again. And I'm loving it now. I'm enjoying every minute of it, practicing, trying to learn new combos, trying out new characters. I'm a Ken main and who else have I played? I played some Ed. I've played Yuri. Yuri was my other main in Street Fighter 4. Absolutely love Yuri, and I think she's great in 6. YouTubers like Maximilian Dude, for example, kept my interest in fighting games, because there was times I'd be lost, like what to do, how to do a certain combo, or just, I don't know, just not feeling it in general. And I would watch one of his videos and be like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that I could try that. That's an interesting insight. So it's really incredible how the internet has kept the interest of fighting games up, because back then when they first started, they didn't have the internet, so you couldn't learn things as easily. You couldn't keep an interest as easily. But now with, a source of unlimited knowledge and advice, the sky's the limit on what people can do. It's funny that a lot of indie developers now are making their own fighting games, like Double KO, I think it's what it's called. That's a completely indie fighting game coming out. I know they're not indie, but Arc System Works, with Guilty Gear, DNF Duel. It's just funny the variety that we have now, when back then it was just like, you got Street Fighter, here's Tekken, here's Mortal Kombat. I look forward to the future of fighting games. We've had a great year with the release of Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8. I know Mortal Kombat 1's been on a rocky road, but nevertheless, things are looking good for fighting games.